Tuesday, January 28th work session of the Harnett County Board of Commissioners. At this time, I will call the meeting to order and ask Vice Chairman Morris to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings we receive. Please give us the strength and guidance to govern as we do what's fit for the people of Harnett County. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. All right, good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. First up is discuss a request to establish a fee for a tuberculosis blood test at Ainsley Johnson.
All right, good morning. The Health Department would like to establish a fee for QuantiFERON Gold tuberculosis testing. So this test service fee would be $80. It includes the price for LabCorp and the price for venipuncture. And this was approved by our Board of Health on January 16th.
Pleasure of the board. Go ahead, add this to the consent agenda, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you much. Discuss a request to award the Dunn-Irwin Landfill Expansion Project. Mr. Chad Bean, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thanks for the opportunity here to request approval for a contract with Lockheed's Graydon Incorporated. We recently went out for bid, went through the proper procurement process through finance, and I wanted to say thanks to Renee Ford for her assistance on that. We obtained 4 bids, the lowest being Lockheed Graydon at $317,000. This is an expansion project at our Dunn-Irwin landfill, roughly 2.5 acres or so. So we're requesting that we move forward with that. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to field any questions or concerns. We have worked with Lockheed Graydon in the past, and we've been very pleased with their work. So.
Questions, comments? Pleasure of the board.
Move to
Consent agenda, Madam Clerk. Thank you much.
Thank you very much.
Discuss a fee schedule for public utilities. Mr. Sean Bird, if you would please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Here today to discuss system development fees. Purpose of this presentation is to answer the questions posed by the board in our last meeting and to help facilitate discussion if the board wishes to pursue any potential changes to our current system development fees. Background, guidelines for the implementation of system development fees were established by the General Assembly in 2017. Sorry.
There's a home switch on the side.
And these fees existed before 2017, although they may have had a different name, such as capacity fees or impact fees. Harnett Regional Water first system development fee report was delivered in 2018, and the last update was in 2023. Systems are required to perform a system development fee study at least every 5 years. I apologize.
You got it.
Oh, there we go. So the purpose of system development fees, the use of system development fees as a standard practice for utility systems is a one-time charge that helps to recover the costs associated with design, engineering, and construction of capital projects. Helps to lessen the need for existing customers to pay for system expansion through increased user rates. System development fees are tied to the usage potential of the property and the associated system-wide impacts on treatment and transmission. This is different than tap fees, which cover the cost of the property connecting to the water main or the sewer main. And the 2023 report was done by Willdan Financial Services. They completed the analysis and delivered the system development fee in May 2023. This report does a good job outlining the history and methodologies of system development fees. There are 3 different methods of determining them: buy-in method, incremental method, and combined method. The buy-in method was determined to be the best fit for Harnett Regional Water. With the buy-in method, you must determine the net recoverable cost of existing infrastructure. That consists of finding the market value of all of our treatment facilities and transmission lines minus the debt principal already paid for that infrastructure. Those net recoverable costs are divided by the estimated capacity of the water and sewer systems to derive a cost per gallon of capacity. The cost per gallon of capacity is then multiplied by the AWWA standard level of service, which is 360 gallons per day for a single-family household. And so when we talk about cost per gallon of capacity, go to the next slide. At the top, you can see the figures for net recoverable costs of the 4 measurable categories. Below that are the estimated capacities in those 4 different parts of our utility system. And then below that is the cost per gallon figure after we divide the net recoverable costs and the estimated capacities. And so if we go to the water SDF calculation, the cost per gallon of capacity is then multiplied by the AWWA standard level of service of 360 gallons per day for a single-family household. There are some adjustments in rounding down to come up with a whole number, and the figure at the bottom in yellow is the equivalent resident unit for water. Another way to say that is this is the maximum cost that can be implemented as a fee for a 3/4 inch meter service. Harnett Regional Water recommended the fee to be $3,000. Then looking at wastewater, this calculation done the same way. You can see that the figure for wastewater was $4,320, and in 2023, Harnett Regional Water recommended $4,000. Regional comparisons. This was not included in the 2023 report. It was recommended that the analysis be done after July 2023 because the surrounding local governments had not adopted their SDF adjustments at the time. Here are the fees for some of the surrounding communities. Last week's meeting, the 3/4 inch and the 2 inch system development fees were discussed, and so that's why I've included them here. And then just as of note, for sizes above 3/4 inch, a meter equivalency factor is used to determine the system development fee. This is an AWWA standard that is legally defensible. And any questions?
Questions, comments?
Can you back up a slide a minute? The one I was looking for, either go forward one. You had it blowed up kind of big there. Anyhow, bottom line is, and we constantly having to reevaluate this. Why don't we do this? Why don't you bring us a suggested adjustment? And then we can tweak it from there.
Mr. Chairman, how about this? To make it official, I'd make a motion that we recommend the staff to come back with a plan to lower system development fees and water tap fees if possible.
It's not a voting meeting, but if I have consensus of the board, we can go ahead and direct staff to do that, if that's the pleasure of the board.
On the consent agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead and add that to the consent agenda, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We'll work on it.
Thank you.
All right, Economic Development Quarterly Update, Mr. Stephen Barrington.
Morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Today, we have just over 2.1 million square feet of Class A industrial buildings that are planned for Harnett County. A year ago, we could not say this, and so we're delighted about this information. We also have over 350 acres that are market ready for industrial use. To us, these will put us in the ball game, and we're very excited. A couple of other things just really wanted to highlight. One is, are you all receiving information from us, videos, quarterly newsletters. If you're not, we definitely would like for you to be. If not, just let us know. A couple other things really wanted to just highlight. One being that Crigen Pharmaceuticals was purchased by Biologic Dynamics, or Dynamic Biologics. The second thing really wanted to highlight is ILC Dover was purchased by Ingersoll Rand, a public company. Delighted by what they're doing, both of them in the biopharma space. As you can see, and excuse me. As you can see from the projects, we've been receiving a lot of projects. We've been submitting for a lot of projects. And this has increased just by the number of available properties that we've had and the market-ready properties that we have had. Today we have 4 buildings that are marketable, 5 sites, but 4 of those sites are market-ready. Again, that makes a difference in everything that we do. We are in early conversations with 3 different property owners related to about 830 acres of land that we feel really good marketable land. We are currently working with the town of Lillington on due diligence for the bird site. The due diligence has been completed within Lillington. It's just now completing the reports themselves. Now the Harnett 95 was acquired back over the last quarter. Right now, you're probably wondering when is the building going to come out. Right now, they're in the planning and design stage. For the next couple of months, they anticipate by April moving dirt and starting the building itself. But their projection is still Q4 of this calendar year of having that building up. You can see just by the numbers of engagement and learning, we've been very active as a team. Lots of different activities that are taking place. I did want to kind of run through the Crigen and the ILC Dover just a little bit more. Both of those are, again, in the bio space. Ingersoll Rand is a public company that did acquire ILC Dover over the past year. They'll still be going by ILC Dover, but it's a Ingersoll Rand brand. They will be in the design and production for biopharma. They'll be in that space, the aerospace, and the medical device space. Lastly, for Crigen Pharmaceuticals, and I did mention earlier that they were acquired by Dynamics Biologics. It's a group out of New Jersey. They're going to continue keeping the name Crigen Pharmaceuticals, and they are going to continue to manufacture ready-to-use injectables. At this point, for the first couple of years, they're going to be kind of in a pre-trial standpoint, so they will not have FDA approval, but they will be working from the location here with a goal to get those approved and move forward. From a marketing standpoint, again, I hope that you're proud of the video that we put together, and we feel like it says a lot about Harnett County, and there's a lot of meat to that short video itself. This past week, I'm sorry. This past week, we hosted a conversation with another economic development group across the state that they really wanted to learn. They're seeing more things that we're putting out there, and they wanted to learn how are we doing it. And really, at the end of the day, we said it was thanks to the investment that the Board of Commissioners had been able to provide to us for both marketing and for business development. So thank you for that. They are seeing different folks and our competitors are seeing, our colleagues, our peers, our competitors, they are seeing movement and action with Harnett County in terms of the product development that's taking place, both on the public side, but also on the private sector side. They're also seeing a lot of different activities in terms of us being able to be present at different things that frankly we have not in the past. And this is all sending good signals to them. those are the major things really wanted to highlight to you. We did host a company visit from out of the country just over the last month. Good visit. Early stage, we'll see if there's an opportunity there or not. But the more product that we have, the more opportunities we have to I'm sorry, to have these visits. Any questions?
Yeah. I have a question. These buildings that are ready-made, ready, for development and all of that, is that in the Dunn area, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
The facilities that you have ready-made are in the Dunn area, right?
Yes,
Okay.
primarily of the 1.3 million or 2.1 million square feet, those are in the Dunn
In the
area.
Dunn area.
1.3 million square feet is done by a private, both are being done by private sector.
Okay.
One is a new project that has closed back in December of this year over off of 95 itself. They're looking to put 1.3 million square feet up, industrial and or distribution logistics.
Okay, well, is this potential for you to get some jobs over there?
100%. Yes. So we are already starting to market that property. We've already submitted that property for multiple projects that have come that we have received thus far.
Okay. Good work, but let me ask you another question.
Yes, ma'am.
The Croydon project, that project has been going on for so long. I know it's been going on
It's been going on for about
10 years.
It's been going on far too long. You're exactly right. So one of the great things that we have found is, and with no disrespect to the former ownership of Croydon Pharmaceuticals, they're no longer in this space. They've been purchased out completely. This is a new company that purchased them. It is a solid company from up in the New Jersey area, and they have another subgroup that uses those injectables for consumer use. So what they'll be manufacturing is what they already use from another product line, another vertical. So Croydon has new ownership, new management, and they're really, with the exception of the name, is a different company.
I think they'll be making still same product. It's this pharmaceutical company, right?
They are. They definitely are. They're definitely going to be making injectables. Yes, ma'am.
And will the wages be set the same? Because we set those wages some years ago.
That's a great question. Their wages will be competitive within the region as it relates to pharma from that perspective. Have not heard all of the details related to all of the jobs that they're going to have.
Okay, well, you'll probably bring us another report on that then, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's time for that. Thank you.
You're
Good
very
report.
welcome. Sure. Thank you.
Barrington, when you come in on exit 71, coming to some of these properties, notice what's piled up on either side of exit 71. Is that going to greatly affect the merchantability of those properties, in your opinion?
At the end of the day, the great buildings that we'll have will be great buildings that we have that we can use, and don't expect that to adversely affect. However, it does shine light to an area that it would benefit that area if it was cleaned up.
If I know what to do.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments?
It would also benefit us if we had a 5-lane road, a highway, right across that road as well. But anyway,
I want to say I did see the video, and that looks absolutely great. You and your team are making great strides here in the last year. I mean, we could not be more pleased. I really appreciate your updates that you've been giving us, and sending out those emails and keeping us posted, because it helps us talk with the public about things that are going on. So really see that our investment is hopefully coming to fruition now, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Can I say one last thing?
Yes, sir.
the two private sector developers who have purchased or are in the game, we're teaming up with Samet, and then the county's teaming up with Samet on the Harnett 95, and then Edgewater Ventures, who's purchased the property off of 95 right there. Well, I'm not going to say where, but right off of 95. These are two known entities, and they have a track record for anything they put down is moved. They have no interest themselves as developers in developing in any area where the property does not move. And so thank you for saying that, and we feel really good about both of those projects. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you
Yes.
for moving
Yes.
that Croydon project. Hey, it's been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Financial mid-year update, Ms. Kimberly Honeycutt.
Okay, so how do I follow that? Thank you, Stephen. And I will say that that video is just fantastic. I was watching it the first time, and I actually stopped, and I was like, wait a minute, I know those people, and because it was just, I mean, it was awesome. So what you have before you, and let me kind of bring Commissioner Jaggers up to speed. So every quarter, I will report to you on the quarterly financials with a comparative of where we are for the quarter ending, and then compared to the same period of last year. Technically, we put these on post them on our website every month, but the quarterly is one that I present to you. And I usually just do a very high level review, just give you some pointers. So basically, to start out with, if you're taking a look at the financials, the collection of ad valorem tax is basically the main driver, as that is our main source of revenue for the general fund. And if you compare our position for the period ending December of 24 versus December of 23, our ad valorem tax collection was 10.32% above the same period last year. Now that's a large amount, so I need to make sure that anyone reading these statements understands that the information that was provided last year, when we compared that, we were implementing a new software program, so there were some reporting issues. So and last year actually showed a 6% decrease over that prior year. So we're back up. Software is running great. Christine's nodding her head and smiling, so I know we're doing great. But we are collections are still continuing to be strong. So just before I left a few moments ago, I went and checked where we are today, because taxes are we're still collecting. So as of a January 24 posting, the county had collected 91.1% of the ad valorem tax budget, and that's still very strong. And Harnett County still remains one of the stronger counties for collection rates. So that's kudos to Christine and her team. On average, 75% of the general fund revenues do come from ad valorem and sales tax. And the collection of ad valorem taxes continues to remain strong, such as I've just mentioned. The levy collection rate for 24 was 99.38%, which is still very, very strong. And that is the calculation that is done each year as part of our audit. So that is the one number that we use. That is our measurement guide that we use. I will not go into detail, but on page 32 of this report that I've handed you is a detail month by month of our sales tax. We've collected sales tax through October, I believe. I have to look. Yes, through October. So right now, the sales tax numbers that you see are only for the first 4 months of the fiscal year, but we will continue to hold our books open when we close the year in June to gather those last 3 months. But sales tax is still, despite a slowing that we keep hearing about, we are still ahead of where we were last year, and so our sales tax is still remaining very strong. And then when we look at the quarter ending December 31st of 23 with this same period, our general fund revenue is actually up 9.7%, but our general fund expenditures are up 12%. So went back and did a little analysis of that. We've added positions to meet the demands and the growth of the county. We had our elections this year, which was a large election for us, and we're spending, investing more money, spending more money, taking care of the growth of the county. So overall, our cash position is still very strong. I don't want people to think that, we have a lot of money to spare, but we are, through policies, procedures, decisions, a lot of conversation with you and the management staff, we've been able to, what I say, instead of just spending this money, we're investing this money and we're spending it wisely. And so we're starting to see a lot of return, as evidenced by, Stephen's presentation. Hopefully, we can continue to make that positive move forward, but, we still have to get there and make smart decisions. So, and I'll just touch briefly on Harnett Regional. Harnett Regional is still doing very well. There's have been working toward a more pay-as-you-go. There's a lot of capital. The large wastewater plant upgrade has taken a lot of cash from them, but right now their cash position is still remaining very strong, and solid waste is still remains positive, and they are trending upward in a direction. So I know that's a lot of information. I will not go into details too much on it, but as you go through it, kind of breeze through it a little bit. If there's any questions that you have, I'll be more than happy to answer. I know that's kind of a high level, but I really don't want to put all of you to sleep. So
Thank you.
So.
Well, I think you made a good report. Our fund balance?
When we closed the year in June, it was at 31%.
That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing. When I first got elected years ago, it was like 8%. I totally remember that, because that's where I ran.
Yeah. I feel old when I say, I remember those days, but yes, I remember those days.
I remember those days.
I remember those days. So, but anyway, but again, it's taken, Alan and I present a presentation during the budget retreat for the last 2 years to show, where our fund balance was, back during 2008, and then as we have added policies and procedures and then tweaked those to create a spending plan and a growth plan as directed by you to show just how we've been able to start earmarking pots of money for the wishes of the board. And so I think that is going to help us kind of isolate and identify the areas that we need to continue to work on. But, when you have a plan, the way our budget is done now with Lisa and all the departments, it's way, way better than it was. And I'm not saying that it was bad. It's just that when you have all that growth come in, it's, you're scrambling. So I'm so proud to be, part of the county and part of this board. And, I just want to thank everyone. So.
Well, we're proud of you all.
Well, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? No, thank you for everything that you and your team are doing. Right. Review applications to serve on boards and committees. Commissioners, you have a packet in front of you. Several applications. I'll open the floor to you all and let me know what your pleasure is on any of these.
I just need some more time on making contact with some of these people.
I need to check one out that says she's in my district. And District 1, I'm not saying she's not, but I want to verify it because I have been so district cautious up here. I'm requiring you all to keep that in mind. Whoever you appoint to these positions represent you and your district. So I'm still thinking in that direction. I need some more time.
Okay. Consensus so far of the board is to go ahead and can we go ahead and add this as a separate line item for next week to go ahead and discuss? Will a week be enough, or do you want this?
Well, yeah. Let's do a week to start with and to see where we're at.
Okay. We'll add this as a separate line item for next week. We'll go ahead and review them again. Hey, County Manager's Report, Mr. Trout.
Thank you. Start off with have Coley introduce a new staff member that's joined us this week.
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Charlie Pelosi. He's sitting here, there he is. So we're excited to have him as our opioid task force coordinator and management analysis. I know Brent is happy for that, and I am too. So it's been a long time coming. Charlie brings a wealth of knowledge to us, and we welcome him to Harnett County. So if you get a chance, introduce yourself, and he'll be in our suite. So you'll see him quite often.
Deal. Welcome, sir.
A couple other items. Wanted to mention that at previous meeting, it was mentioned about the Veterans Farm regarding some issues they were having with putting their homes on their property. Staff has met with gentlemen, and they have worked through the issues, and they are progressing again. So everything is on track for them to meet their needs, explain some of the rules and regulations, and they're working through getting the information they need, and so we're back on track with that. I also have some good news. It was mentioned during our legislative policy luncheon that we needed to seek an extension for our funding for the runway project that we received, that we had an October 1, 2025 deadline. Turns out there was a law passed in the last session that actually extended that deadline on that type of funding to until expended. So we no longer have a deadline. That project, we'll keep the funding until we complete the project, or we decide not to do the project, which that's not going to happen. We're going to do that project. So anyway, that's very good news. Takes the pressure off, but we're really moving forward on that. Our next step really is to get the land purchase that we need in order to do the runway extension, and the appraisals are being conducted on that, and so that we can make our offer to the landowner. Once that's completed, we'll be able to continue to move forward with the environmental studies and those types of things to meet the requirements that the state has. So, good news. That's all I have to
Nice. Outstanding. Thank you. Mr. Counselor, do we have a need for closed session?
No need for a closed session.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman.
A motion and a second to adjourn. We're adjourned.